At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger coming to you from South Lake Tahoe, where it's like in the low 20s, upper teens. It's cold out here. If you've ever been to South Lake Tahoe in the winter, you know how cold it can get out here. I'm here because my son and the Alpine team and the North Division in general. Something happened here. Let me get out of here. There we go. Sorry about that. Again, I am coming to you from South Lake Tahoe in live right now from my Airbnb. Now, the reason I'm out here is because my son's snowboard team, or the ski team, the Alpine team as it's known, the whole North Division is up here to compete and practice. We did some practice yesterday. They're going to be competing today and tomorrow out at, why am I blanking? On Sierra Tahoe. That's the ski resort that they are at, and it is pretty nice. I was out there skiing yesterday, absolutely gorgeous. It was a bluebird day, although some clouds did move in. You may have noticed a lot of those clouds moving in as well. So again, I'm coming to you live from my Airbnb. The kids are still asleep, but we're getting ready for the first competition of this race, and hoping for more snow at the Shasta Ski Park. And you know what? There is maybe a chance we could be talking about some snow working its way into the forecast here for Shasta Ski Park in the next 24 hours. We'll get into that here in just a bit, but first let's take a look at some of the cameras out here. This is actually looking at an image coming in from Terry Womack. This is morning fog over the Sacramento River. Absolutely gorgeous image there. If you'd like to share your photos, it's very easy from the free Weather NorCal app. iPhone is working properly, although there are some known issues with Android, so I apologize for that. Hopefully we can get that issue that solved. But in the meantime, if you don't have the app, even if you don't want to share photos, which, you know, I like it when you share photos. I think everybody does too. But just search for Weather NorCal in your app store. All right, so let's go and take a look at the visibility out there. And by the way, I do want to remind you, I'll just let you know that I have been having a few minor issues with the connectivity to my weather computer remotely here. So if it knocks us out, I may have to knock out of this broadcast a little early, but let's get you through it. There is some patchy fog out there this morning for parts of the valley. Now, as you can see, we are looking at, looks like a little bit of fog trying to develop in parts of Chico. You can see there's Main Street Chico on Highway 32. We're going to take you out to I-5, Red Bluff. I've seen a little bit of patchy fog there as well. Bottom line, this is just going to be a typical morning where some areas seeing more fog than others, but it's just going to be form of that patchy fog. And really where we can gauge how the fog's doing, especially to our south, is right here, looking at the Sutter Buttes. Looks like they're socked in with that fog as you get closer to Sacramento. All right, let's get you into your Krueger's Quickcast for your Monday, January 26th. Temperatures are certainly on the cold side. In fact, we're below freezing out at the Redding Airport at 29 degrees. It's not only cold here at South Lake Tahoe, but pretty cold in the valley as well this morning. We take a look at out the door this morning, and we are going to be looking at some of the patchy fog. It's going to be cold. You're going to be looking at cold temperatures, especially off into the higher elevations. Now, there's the storm system I've got my eyes on, and looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? You've got that swirl of low pressure, colder air getting wrapped around in it. You've got the cold front. You got a bit of that tap of that moisture. So it's heading our way, but it's going to be butting up against a ridge of high pressure, and that may have an impact as to how much snow we actually end up seeing here. But let's take a look at the forecast visibility, because any fog we are seeing out there will most likely burn off here pretty rapidly. So all in all, I just don't expect to see much in the way of fog. Now, as we go into tomorrow morning, we may see another round of some of that fog in some areas, but then that should burn off pretty quickly. And then there you can see some of the clouds showing up there. That's actually in response to that storm system moving on in, and that's bringing us more cloud cover and a chance for rain. Now, I'm going to show you futurecast here. We're going to look at this a little bit more in the deeper dive forecast as well, should the computer cooperate. But I just wanted to show you this, is that you can see today, there's not much going on, is there? But then, as we take you into about midday on Tuesday, you're looking at some of that rain approaching the coast. Now, I think it might be overdoing it on the overall intensity of the rain, but we are expected to see kind of break apart as it moves eastward, as we would expect. But it's late in the afternoon that the valley will see it into the evening, and then it'll be more of an overnight type of event for places like Modoc and County in the eastern mountains. And snow levels probably somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 feet, which means the ski park may actually get to see a little bit of snow out of this, maybe a couple of inches. But there you can see the fog that we will see most likely Wednesday morning. Now there's another weak disturbance that may push through Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but as you can see, it's going to be very minimal impacts. Now there's a look at Mount Shasta Ski Park, 24 inches at the top of Douglas. It's groomed and a lot of machine-made snow, but they are holding on, folks. So if you want to get out there, you can certainly still get some skiing. Now this is through Wednesday night. You can see not a lot of snow. Out at the base of the ski park, about 3 inches, and a little bit more than that out towards the top of Douglas there. But overall, we're just not expected to see a lot of snow. But hey, you know what? I'm sure any snow we can get out at the Shasta Ski Park is a big help. Now, the chances for rain are looking pretty good, but keep in mind that is going to be late in the day for the valley, earlier in the day for the coast. And those 10% chances you see there, that's basically a whole lot of slim chance for any rainfall, right? So we look at the forecast here for your Monday. It's still going to be on the coolish side. Temperatures are going to be in the low to mid 50s for the valley, and it looks like temperatures in the 40s and 50s for the higher elevations. Now for tonight, it's going to be another cold one. We're dropping down to the low to mid 30s in the valley, 20s for the higher elevations, and looks like in the low 40s for those of you along the coast. So there you have it. We take a look at that 7-day outlook, and there you can see we are looking at that chance for showers on Tuesday. Now, I put the word PM in there for Chico because I think it's going to be probably late in the day before you even see any showers. And then for the coast, you've got that better chance for showers around midday and through the afternoon. That's also the case for inland and for Trinity County. Now, I haven't really put any rain in the forecast for the weekend. The long-range forecast models, as we've been seeing this happening a lot, has been having a really difficult time with really aligning, and we haven't seen much alignment in those long-range forecasts. And so overall, the European is showing rain this weekend. The GFS, high pressure, warmer temperatures, and very dry conditions as well. So it's not looking, again, all that promising for wet weather after our chances on Tuesday. But let's get through Tuesday first, right? Because we could certainly use that rainfall as we go through the next several days. There's a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay. There you can see some of the fog that we are seeing in some of those areas. Main Street, Chico on Highway 32. Of course, we saw this a little bit earlier. We can see that there is a little bit of fog trying to develop in that area as well. Meanwhile, we take out to Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like we've got a little bit of traffic out there this morning.
You can see that there is a little bit of fog.
And we're seeing, again, looks like the visibility looks pretty good there. So again, for the valley, it's mainly just that patchy fog that we're seeing out there. There's I-5 at Red Bluff. Looks like a little bit of patchy fog out there. And I'm just kind of checking some of your comments. Yeah, the music was still going when I first started, but it looks like everything's okay now. Good. I don't think the music's still going. I don't think it is. I don't think so. Anyway, if it is, let me know in the comments here. Sundial Bridge Drive, and you can see, of course, again, some of that patchy fog trying to develop in some areas. Now, again, the Sutter Buttes, this is south of our area for the most part, and this is where we can kind of gauge where some of that more of that dense fog is as you head south of our area, getting closer to, say, Sacramento, and yeah, socked in with that fog. So if you're heading southward to Sacramento, just know that you're going to be dealing with lower visibility there. Crescent City Harbor District, looks like we just have the mostly cloudy skies, but not much in the way of fog there. There you can see Bald Hill West, looking down at Hoopa Valley. Yeah, a lot of Trinity County, western Siskiyou County, and those mountain valleys. Still seeing some of that fog. There's a look at Soda Ridge. I always love looking at this, especially when it's pointed at Mount Shasta. You can see some of the clouds out there, but again, just not a lot. Taking a look at Fort Jones, looks like Scott Valley is fog-free this morning, so that certainly is good. They've been, especially Etna, Fort Jones, you've been dealing with that fog for the last several weeks off and on here. There you can see, of course, Lassen Park. It looks absolutely gorgeous there. Things are looking pretty good. All right, well, today is Monday. We've got our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals segment sponsored by Grange Co-op. This week, we're going to learn about goats. At Turtle Bay, goats? Well, we're going to learn why they have goats over there here in this week's Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, sponsored by Grange Co-op. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. You're watching another edition of Turtle Bay, Wonderful World of Animals. I've got Sharon Clay from Turtle Bay. I still love how, how many years have I said Sharon Clay from Turtle Bay, and I just love the way that sounds.
A long
perfect.
time.
Do you say that to people? I'm Sharon Clay from Turtle Bay.
Sometimes,
All
yes,
right.
I do.
There you
Absolutely.
Go. So behind us, we've got some goats, and they're from Elwood Ranch, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we are not starting to have goats
No.
at Turtle Bay, and please don't just drop yours off here.
Yeah.
But Elwood Ranch and Lassen Canyon Nursery has been kind enough to lend us a small herd of their goats to help us with fire mitigation here. So it's very hard to take care of this kind of wildlands back here behind all the animals and behind our stage and stuff. And so these goats, as you can see, he's doing a great job right now.
He's
or
fantastic.
she is. There's a bald eagle just landed in a tree above our heads.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
a
then took
treat.
off again.
That's all. Oh man, goodness.
There you go. A little side note, a little
Yeah.
squirreling off there. All right. So, yeah. So they are here to eat, and as we know, goats eat a lot. And they're going to eat the leaves, and they're going to eat all the poison oak leaves, and they're going to eat all of the grapevine, and all, I mean not the grapevine, the blackberry, and all of that. Well, they'll probably eat grapevine too, but they're going to eat
crazy because
blackberry.
blackberries are so like spiky and. Like,
it doesn't seem to bother them.
Yeah.
They will eat anything and everything. All of this, like grasses, even though they're dried grasses, they're going to eat them right down to the ground because they'll end up feeding, hay and stuff. So they're here to do a good job to help us keep us safe from fire season.
You know, it's weird. It feels like over the last 5-10 years, this has really been a trend to use goats to do this whole fire mitigation thing. Am I right in that?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when I first started, 18 years ago.
I got you beat. It was like 25 years for me.
Man.
Yeah.
So when I started that year, they had done some mitigation with goats, and it lasted, after they ate it down, it lasted like 8 or 9 years
Wow.
of no nasty growth. So it's really, really effective. They're amazing, and it's natural. So that's like the best part.
Yeah.
You're not using chemicals. You're not worried about fire by burning it yourself and actually having an accident. So it's really great. We're very thankful. We've been talking to Elwood Ranch and Lassen Canyon for a while about doing a project like this, and it's come to fruition. And we're working a little with Shasta College to help with it as well, their ag department. And we're looking forward to seeing what the results are.
I love how this community gets together and works together, and it's just fantastic. And of course, we all know Kenny and Elwood Ranch. Such a generous guy, and I just love the fact that you guys are working together, and you guys are looking good. You need to start getting to work there, buddy.
I know. I tell them all the time, you're supposed to be eating 24/7. What's happening?
What's going on?
So you're being done. But you want to know the best part? They're all females. And I said, of course they are.
I didn't know they had horns.
Yeah,
I
the
guess
females do too, but
okay.
the females do all the hard work. So
They do.
They're the ones who get it done. It's women out there, women power.
I can't
we get
argue
it all
with you
done.
on that one. And we got a woman behind the camera there too, so I'm not gonna mess with anybody here. So thank you, Sharon. Thank you, goats, Elwood goats, and we will see you next time for another edition of Turtle Bay, Wonderful World of Animals. Well, that's always fun. I always have a good time with that. Ooh, can we hear him? Am I doing echo? No, I'm not. Sometimes these live remotes, it can be a little bit of a challenge, but we're getting there and we're getting it all done. I'm checking in some of your comments here. Getting some of the regulars checking in this morning, like Jackie Dixon from Trinidad. We've got Debbie Castro saying good morning. She was one of the first this morning. Lisa Stevens saying good morning. Happy Monday, all. Have a great one. And Lisa was telling me the music is still on. Hopefully that's off at this point, and I believe it is. Curtis Brown from Red Bluff saying it's a chilly one this morning, 32 degrees out in Red Bluff. And we got several people watching this morning. So thank you for checking in this morning. Doing a live remote for those of you just checking in here from South Lake Tahoe, the North Division of Alpine. So it includes all the schools in the North State region are up here in South Lake Tahoe, out at Sierra Tahoe, where yesterday they had a practice. Today and tomorrow they will have races. So I'm going to be up here through Tuesday. So you'll see me right here bright and early again, South Lake Tahoe. This is from our Airbnb in South Lake Tahoe, where it's much, much colder up here than it is at least down into the valley. But it is cold. I do recognize that. You're down in the low 30s for some of you there. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at, of course, one of the things, Grange Co-op once again for Turtle Bay. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Want to thank Wind River for their support of Coffee with Krueger. All right, so here's what we've got going on. Morning patchy fog continues. Shower chances Tuesday and into early Wednesday. Yeah, and it looks like a little bit more promising, but we'll get into that in a deep dive here in just a second. Dry and warmer the rest of the week, and a dry pattern most likely into next week. So yes, we've got the chance for rain here, and it really has to do with high pressure. We're going to get into all of that in our deeper dive forecast, which is sponsored by Shasta Hearing Aids.
Hearing isn't just about sound, it's about being part of every moment. This isn't your grandparents' hearing aid, it's a smart hearing aid for modern life. It's Bluetooth enabled, easy to control from your phone with your personal prescription, delivering the clarity you need. All that technology at half the cost of competitors, so you never miss a moment worth hearing. With our Here For You program, you get personal care and support every step of the way. This is what quality care sounds like.
All right, so we're going to start with the satellite image here, but before we get to that, I want to address, oops, the music went back on. That's weird. I don't know why that happens. All right, so anyways, I want to address a comment. Michelle Sandals saying, good morning. When will the rain return? Loving the dry weather. Well, the rain could return as early as tomorrow for some of us, and it's going to be kind of one of those things where hitting the coast first and then working its way eastward into the valley and into the mountains as well. So a very impressive looking storm system, right? You can see the comet shape, you've got the cold front, you've got the colder air getting wrapped around the area of low pressure. That colder air could drop those snow levels down low enough that I think even Mount Shasta, not Mount Shasta City, but Mount Shasta Ski Park may actually get to see a little bit of snow as well. So let's take a look at futurecasts and let's walk you through the timing of at least the latest forecast model data. And you can see dry today as we would expect, right? But then by midday, we've got that front approaching. Now, a couple of things that's going to start to happen. Through the day on Tuesday, winds will pick up along the coast. Chances for rain will increase by around midday into the early afternoon. By 5 p.m., you'll notice not a lot of rain east of the valley, but you see around northern Shasta into Siskiyou, Trinity County, seeing the showers. Now, I think Futurecast may be overdoing it on the intensity of the rain that you're seeing here, but I do think that by late afternoon, early evening, we'll start to see some showers around Redding, and then by Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, it'll move through Chico and the eastern mountains and eventually into Modoc County as well. Now, as we go into Wednesday morning, it's all pretty much done with. Now, there may be some fog that you can see there in the valley. That most likely will burn off. Now, there's another weak disturbance that may push through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. But you can see it doesn't look to be all that significant. So that's what we're looking at here as far as chances for rain. Now, what you'll see here, and this is something I talked about last Friday and even Thursday, I said, I'm a little bit more in alignment with what we're seeing here. I think the most amount of rainfall, you're talking about 1/4 of an inch, give or take, along parts of the coast and even into the inland areas. But as you head eastward, you see how it's much less in the amount of rainfall. So we may see trace amounts to a few hundredths in the valley, and then look it off to the east. It's not picking up on much in the way of rainfall, if anything, really. Now, let's take a look at that snow, right? Not looking all that promising there either. There you can see that, we saw earlier that the Mount Shasta Ski Park may pick up a few inches, 5,500 feet and even above that, but nothing significant. Look at the Sierra. Look at down towards South Lake Tahoe where I am, right? You'd like to get some more snow even in the Sierra because we're below average for the season as far as snowpack is concerned. And we could use more snow, and it just doesn't look like any of that snow is really going to make its way into the Sierra. Now, there is a wind advisory, again, with that approaching cold front. Gusts upwards of 40, 50 miles per hour are a possibility for the coast and for central Siskiyou County. Take a look at those winds, and you can see, look at central Siskiyou County even today. They're picking up a little bit here, but it's really going to be Tuesday, right? There you can see the winds picking up along the coast, and even central Siskiyou County, they pick up even stronger through the afternoon. Not as bad for the valley, though, but a little breezy at times. And then, of course, the winds will die down after that. So this is the long range. We're looking at the GFS. Again, the GFS and the European forecast model all agree that, yeah, we're going to see potential for some rain as we go into tomorrow and tomorrow night. But this model, the GFS, look what happens. Look at all the storms. You see what's happening? They're butting up against that bridge of high pressure. And the thing is, all that energy just gets pushed to the north. Now, this is just one model that we're looking at. Keep that in mind. The European forecast model, as it has been over the last several weeks is more aggressive in pushing through that ridge and that ridge not being as strong. And so the European forecast model, wants to bring in some rain by this upcoming weekend and even into early next week. But the GFS, not so much. And it seems like we're seeing a nice little even spread between the two, because the European forecast model has been very aggressive on the amount of rainfall, whereas the GFS, not so much. And what we're seeing happen now, and what we're starting to see as we kind of narrow in on this, it looks like it's a little between the two. Not a lot of rainfall and maybe some scattered showers. And that's it. This is not going to be a big deal coming into tomorrow. But then again, as I mentioned, we're going to have to really watch the rest of this month and into early next week, because Climate Prediction Center is more in line with a drier pattern for the first week of February. That's not good. We could certainly use more rainfall even despite the fact that we are above normal for the season. That reserve isn't going to last forever. And of course, the lake levels are looking good. We're, over 100% of average for the season. But look at these warmer than normal temperatures too, with that high pressure building in. So you can see, look at that, mid 60s for the end of the week, and this weekend, low 70s by next Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to feel more spring-like again. Now the wave heights, they are going to be dropping, but there still is a gale warning for today. And then Tuesday, they actually may pick up again for tomorrow afternoon. South winds at about 15 to 20 knots. There's that gale warning here for today. So just be aware of that if you do need to be on a small boat. Here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Those temperatures are going to be in the low 50s for Trinity County. Of course, that rain for tomorrow afternoon. Snow levels, by the way, I didn't really include them for most areas, but I'd say on average between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. So still fairly high snow levels, minimal impacts on travel, if any. And there you can see the inland areas. Of course, you got that chance for showers on Tuesday as well. How about Siskiyou County? Well, there you go. Snow levels that got around 5,500 feet. So again, somewhere in that 5,000 to 6,000 foot range. Modoc County, you're going to have to hold off until tomorrow night before you start to see anything, if anything. Same story for the Eastern Mountains. You're going to have to hold off until late, probably evening, overnight, if you see any activity here. So for the southern end of the valley, we are looking at those temperatures in the low 50s. It's still going to be pretty cool out there today. It's because we still have some cloud cover. And then Chico, if you see anything, it's going to be late in the evening into the overnight hours. And then I'm keeping it dry through the rest of the week and even this upcoming weekend. There's up to the north, temperatures mid 50s for your daytime highs. I think we'll see a little bit more sunshine peeking through today. And there's that chance for rain, especially late afternoon, early evening for places like Redding. Don't expect much though. And then, like I said, I'm keeping it dry for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and even this upcoming weekend. But keep in mind, as we look at this, that the long range, the European forecast model is saying, hey, there may be a little bit of rainfall. So the chances are going to be there, but it's one of those things where I have to kind of keep watching that. Did the music come back on? No, it didn't. So there you go, folks. Again, I'm live here from South Lake Tahoe as the Alpine team for the North Division. All the teams in the North Division are up at Sierra Tahoe. They had a practice yesterday and the big competition, or just some races here for today and tomorrow. So excited to kind of check that out, and got some great skiing in yesterday. I was skiing for at least 5 hours straight, and my legs are tired. Let me tell you something. But yeah, it's just nice out here. It's cold, but some good snow. I love getting that morning, what they call corduroy, where it's freshly groomed. So very nice before the crowd comes in. So I want to thank you all so much for watching this morning. We're going to leave you with, and I might be able to put the music on, and we'll take a look at some of the, let's see here, do we have that? There we go. We'll get that ready to go. And it is, we're going to leave you with some images, some cameras across the region. In the meantime, have yourselves a great day. By the way, you saw that I did the morning record for your 6 o'clock in the morning update. Meteorologist Aurora Murray will be informing me at noon and then again at 6 p.m. so I can be out on the slopes enjoying Sierra Tahoe and also watching my son's races. I always love to see him race. He's so good at it. I love it. It's so much fun. He enjoys it. But yeah, I'm going to be out there. So Aurora Murray will be in at noon and then again at 6 p.m. So be sure to check her out as she gives you the latest on that chance for rain tomorrow, and a good chance for rain at that. I'll be back again here tomorrow morning at South Lake Tahoe from my Airbnb here, and we'll be doing this all over again. And then by Wednesday, and of course Aurora will be in again tomorrow afternoon. Then everything will be back to normal by Wednesday. I'll be back home in Redding from my regular old studio, and we'll get you through the rest of the week and this upcoming weekend. That's going to do it for us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you. I'll see you, or at least here, tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the morning with my update, usually between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning, and then a live here on Coffee with Krueger. Have yourselves a great rest of your day.